Hello, hello, friends and family. Thank you so much for your patience. It has just been a comedy of errors here in my home today with automation and everything. Give me just a moment. Let me go ahead and share the video to my Facebook group, the event group. That way they know that there's a new link that they need to be watching out for instead of the one. What? Sorry about that, you guys. I Everything just seems to be going wrong today. Um, my brand new computer again seemed to have crashed, so here we are going through all of this, and this is what we've got today. Oh, all right. If it's not one thing, it's another, but the show still must go on. So let's get going. First of all, let me know if you can hear me. Um, that seems to be a challenge that we have lately. Sometimes you can hear audio, sometimes you cannot. Um, Unfortunately for me, I just had to quickly put together my Zoom, my setup that I use for Zoom, and so it's not normally in place. So if I'm shifting and moving things, that's what it is. So I do apologize. I hope I'm going to give some folks a little bit of time to find me, and hope notifications aren't going to go haywire. So I'm going to start pretty quickly, and just get going on here, and just apologize for that later. So if you are on my Facebook group, you will see that today we are working on the floating element technique today. I listed for you the products that we are going to be using. I am going to be playing with the Frosted Forest bundle today. It seems to be the stamp set that I'm playing with a lot this month, so we'll keep playing with that. You need a piece of acetate, and I cut a piece that is 4x4. Acetate or window sheet is what we call it. You're going to need a piece of cardstock, two different colors. One is I'm using Moody Mauve as my card base, and this is 8.5 by 4.25 score, 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4.25. And then I have a piece of fresh Freesia that I'm going to use as my mat. And this is 4 by 5.25. We might be trimming this down a little bit, so we'll see what we end up playing with. We're also going to need a little bit of designer series paper, and for today, I am using this print from the Thoughtful Journeys designer series paper. Guys, this is one of the most popular pieces of designer series, the pack that I've ever seen. I absolutely adore it. So let's get started really quickly. And moving. So the floating element is, I saw this today and I've watched it several times. So let's hope I can get this down pat. So what we're going to do with this designer series paper is we are going to cut this down to maybe about a 4 1/8 inch piece. But we're going to cut this down, and I want to make sure that I get this area in the frame. So when I'm gonna cut this, I'm gonna see what I need to do to make sure that I have the element that I want in frame to be in the frame. Okay, so let's move all this stuff aside. Let's bring in our paper trimmer. And let's take a look. If we cut this at if we cut this to 4 1/8, or even 4 by 4, what are we going to get? So if we cut this to 4 by 4, so this is where our 4 is going to be, which is fine. So let's do that. The area of concern is if we cut this into 4 this way, right? We'll get a little bit of this. I think this is perfect right here. Um, and if we cut it at 4 this way, I won't get so much here. So I do want to let's trim about maybe a 1/4 inch off of the top. And then we're going to trim this to 4, because then I'll get a little bit more of this part in the frame. All right. So this is a 4x4 panel. And then what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to trim this at 2 inches. I'm going to find the halfway point, and of course, half of 4 is 2. And then I'm just going to go ahead and make sure to keep everything. Y'all, what did I just trim? Okay, there was a piece of sheet in there. So this is a 2 inch, so I'm going to cut them at different sizes in the strips. So I'm going to cut a ½ inch. I'm going to cut a 3/4 inch. And make sure that I'm going to keep them in the order that they're cut. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing. And but I'm going to start at a 3/4 inch. Then a ½ inch. All right. Okay. Let's put these aside. It's kind of like the puzzle card, right? Making sure that we keep everything in the order. We have that. And then we're gonna, I already messed it up. Gonna have this. Then I'm gonna have this. And then we're gonna have this right there. All right, so now we're gonna grab some adhesive. Now I use liquid glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room in terms of being able to adjust to attach the strips. All right, so we're gonna start with the middle piece, this one. And we're just gonna line everything up. We're gonna keep a little bit of space in between each. And this is how we're going to create our floating element. Try to keep the space as even as we can, and you all know for me that might be a little challenging. And I make sure I'm trying to lay everything out beforehand to try to somewhat gauge the spacing. And not just the spacing, but making sure that it's even. Okay? That looks about right. All right. Guys, thanks for joining me. I apologize for coming late. Somehow my system seemed to have crashed. I'm not sure what happened. So I had to punt really quickly. Yeah, and grab my phone, which was almost dead from the day. And you know, now I'm losing my laptop, my tablet, which is also getting ready to die. Of course, you know, we use our electronics during the day. Anyway, I'm trying to get through this card as quickly as possible. I just need to make sure that I have an IT person like in my hip pocket whenever I'm getting ready to go do live videos. Okay. Now you can do this with any designer series paper. It does not have to be thoughtful expressions. You can use, you could even create your own designer series paper. Um, but the key to this is making sure to line everything up and then cut them. Now you don't even have to keep your strips in straight. You could do diagonals. I'm gonna keep mine straight. Um, that's just kind of what I want to do. But when you get to create your own, you can do exactly as you wish. Now, if I was a little bit more, what's the word I'm using? If I had the ability to do things straighter, without needing that extra push that liquid adhesive offers me, I would actually use tear and tape for this process. Oops. I already think I'm going crooked here, but and lastly, on this side, oh, I definitely let me grab my little sheet here. Okay, there we go. This, okay, this is gonna go here, and then that's at the top. All right, so we're gonna let this set for just a little bit because I want to make sure that the adhesive is completely dry and it's not going to, when I put it through the die cutting machine, it's not going to shift and create a big old mess when we die cut our image. Okay. And the last piece, here we go. All right. So as we let this dry for just a minute, we're going to try to figure out what shape we want here. So I grabbed the stylish shape dies. And I usually do things in a circular. So we can decide if we want to do a circle or a square. I want a bigger circle. So I'm going to use the largest circle shape in here, and I want to capture a little bit of it all. And so this is what we're going to die cut. This is what it will look like if we use the square, and you can use a square. It does not have to be a circle. I like the idea of the circle. So I'm going to use the circle. All right. So the thoughtful journeys. Hold on. What did I just do? I tell you, I'm so flustered from my computer shutting down that I mean, I don't even know what I've done with stuff. I don't know. Because I was just scrambling and rushing and moving things out of the way and oh my gosh. So I think this is what we're gonna have. All right, so I think we're done. I think we're good. I'm just gonna burnish this just a little bit also on the back. All right. And I'm gonna put this where I want it. I want to make sure that I have a little bit of everything in this circular area here. Okay. It's not going to fit in the mini cut and emboss machine. It's only going to fit in the big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Second, like that. All right, here we go. I'm going to hope that my desktop doesn't shake too much. I just really did not take the time to stabilize uh, my camera. I just did not want to keep you guys waiting for too long. All right, so we might have to run this through several times in order for it to cut through um, the acetate or the window sheet. So that's what we're looking for right there. I'm just going to pass it through a couple of times just to see if we can actually get a clean and a good cut, so we don't have to do a lot of manipulations on it, okay? And one more time. All right, let's see what we got here. Didn't quite cut all the way through. So I'm going to put it back on. And then I'm going to also add a piece of cardstock in there. See if we can get a little bit more teeth um, through it, through our sandwich. You guys are so awesome. Thanks for following me and making sure that you clicked on the notification bell so you knew when I was going live. Um, oh yeah, I think this is much better now. Nope, it is definitely not cutting all the way through it. So I'm gonna put it back on one more time. And I'm gonna grab another piece of cardstock on here. Again, give it just a little bit more bite. If not, we're just gonna cut it off. Okay. Yeah, and it's probably not going to look as pretty, but we're going to just cut this off because it's not giving me a clean cut through the acetate. All right, let's hope this comes out looking somewhat clean as we do our little cutting here. I can see it better on this side, so I'm going to cut on this side. Now, initially, I was not going to cut on the already perforated lines, but I'm going to cut that because you're not going to see it on the front side. And it's probably going to help me to get a little bit of a cleaner cut. And I'm trying to be a little bit careful. I'm going to have you tried this technique before? If you have, how were you able to get your acetate to cut off cleanly? I'm going to have to play with this again. Okay. All right. So you see where we have to trim a little bit more? Oh boy. I'm going to have to put a little bit of adhesive back there too. I'm concentrating, you guys. I'm sorry. So if you are watching me tonight, you are watching live, um, just comment. As always, I do try to, in the giveaway for the night, to give you the card that's created um, at the time of the video. So to be entered into the drawing to win tonight's card, just let me know. Um, if you have kids, or are you in back to school time already? Oh yeah, what's that like? How was your summer? I'm gonna have to put a little bit of adhesive there. All right, so you see we trimmed this off fairly nicely. Yeah, and I ended up having to trim off a lot of the little bit of the decorative element of the stylish shaped die, but that's okay. So this is what we ended up with. All right, and this do need to add a little bit more adhesive here because it's a little loose. So I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive on here. And then put this right back in place. So this is the floating element of our piece. All right. Just like that, we put this right into place. I'm going to let that sit and dry for just a second. And while we do that, we're going to get working on the next element. So the other thing that I'm going to do, I had this idea. I can't remember her name that I watched on the video, but it was such a beautiful idea. This is Frosted Forest, and this is an online exclusive item. And there's this little element right here. Look at this. You can use any one of the dies, but I'm going to use that one. And I'm going to die cut this, and I'm going to die cut it with one of the complementary colors in here. And I think I'm going to go with the Mossy Meadow. So let me find a strip of Mossy Meadow that I can use to die cut this. You can use any color that you wanted to. Or a scrap piece of Mossy Meadow. Use this strip of black. It's like a glitter paper black. But you know, let me just get up and go find me a piece of Mossy Meadow. Let's just go get a piece of Mossy Meadow. You ever notice when you're looking for scrap pieces of paper, you can never find the scraps? That's my experience with things. So I'm gonna trim this, and I think it should be able to go through the mini cut and emboss machine. We're gonna try to see if it'll go through the mini cut and emboss machine. All the trouble to bring the cut and emboss machine here, so we may as well use it. Plate number 1, plate number 2, the magic mat. I'm going to flip that over. Our piece of cardstock, our die, and then our second plate number 3. Okay. All right. I think we're almost time to assemble our piece of cardstock. All right. And we're just going to poke the pieces that did not come out. So let me show you what's going to happen here. All righty then. Caron has done it again, y'all. As I tell you guys every single week, the more I try to prepare for you guys, the worse I do. So this is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. Let's trim this to 4 by 5 1/4. So what I'm going to end up doing is this. It's going to be about here, like so, about center. Then we're going to align this guy, kind of like so, right? And then we're going to stamp our sentiment right here. How does that look for you guys? All right, so let's do a let's make it birthdays because we always need birthday sentiments, right? Birthday wishes for a day as great as you are is what we're gonna go with. So we know that's gonna be towards the bottom using our grid mat, our grid lines. Set this up as straight and even as we can. Condition our stamp. Use our little embossing buddy. And I'm gonna go with obviously our VersaFine Clear ink. Mm, I'm gonna go with the black VersaFine Clear. Make sure that's inked up pretty well. Then I'm gonna put this, all right, something doesn't look right there. Hold on. Something doesn't look right. Let's try inking this again. I'm gonna stamp it just to be on the safe side. It's just paper. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna put it down here. Okay. I'm gonna heat emboss it. Not a project for me if it's not heat embossed, right? It's warming up. Changed pretty quickly after cutting my cardstock for today. Went out and did about a 3-mile walk. Loved on my baby for a second. All right, so that's there. Now let's just go ahead and start assembling this card. So we're going to put some dimensionals on there or some foam tape. And because there's some acetate and some spaces in here, we've got to be a little bit careful with how we are attaching our adhesive, okay? Because of course we don't want it to show through. But don't forget to comment tonight. Let me know where you're watching from, how you found out about me. If you're not a regular, if you're new to the channel, how you found us. Were you referred? Were you searching for something else and you found us? Just let us know how you found us. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. I always appreciate that you have your option of so many additional crafters that you could watch. That fact that you are spending anytime at all with me is really, really appreciated. So I do appreciate you for that. Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right. So there we go. We are almost done with building this card, you guys, and we're keeping it very simple. It is a technique that we are learning how to do a floating element card. You can do it with any shape that you do want. It doesn't have to be circles. I chose that. I saw a representation of this card. I loved it with the circles, so I followed suit with that. And then we're just going to line this up like that. And I'll put this guy. So we want this to be somewhat centered. And then we're going to put him like that. All right. I don't want to completely cover the splash of purple in the back. So I think this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to bring this down just a little bit too. That's where I'm going to put that. Yeah. I think I got that right. Okay. Let's get to making this work. I chose to use designer series paper. You guys, you do not have to use designer series paper. You could just do strips of color if you wanted to make it just a fun card. I chose designer series paper, but it's not something that you have to choose as well. All right, so see a little bit of a line here. And I'm just going to trim that off. And I'm going to grab some. Now I have All right, so what I need to do is little tiny pieces of this foam tape. So all I'm going to do is make sure I know where I'm going to attach the foam tape. So I need foam tape here. Actually, I could just put it here. I could put it all here. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's just do that. Where are my foam strips when I need them? All right, here we go. Cut these into small enough strips, I think. Let's go ahead and adhere them. Strip right here. And I'm going to put another strip right down there. Then I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue and get that sealed down. I've got to figure out what the heck just happened to my computer, you guys, right? It just like totally died. It's not that dead. So let me tell you what's happening. I'm not an IT guru or specialist or anything like that. So I had gone live, and then all of a sudden it wasn't picking up the desk view camera. So I closed the program. After I'd gone live, it wasn't picking it up. And then I closed the program, and then I could see that there was light on the keyboard panel, right? There's light there, but there's no image on the screen. So I need to put adhesive here. There's no image on the screen, so I couldn't see anything. So there was a moment of sheer panic because now I'd already gone live. This is why I love these little fine points on these glue bottles. I love my Tombow glue, but I gotta have a fine tip for these types of things. Okay, all right. So here we go. And we're gonna put this, oh, I didn't take that part off. Make sure we take our strips off. There we go. And then we're just gonna adhere this as straight as we can get. Okay. Perfect. So I've got that strip down. And you guys, this card is practically complete. Are you with me? All right. right. Are you with me? I don't even know what just happened there, you guys. Told you, me and automation are having the struggle today. That's my messy workspace. You guys are never meant to see that. And now, with the exception of some embellishments, we're going to finish and put this card together. All right, don't forget to comment in the post a comment to be eligible to be the person that gets to receive this card tonight. Okay, and we look forward to seeing you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys. I think I go live in my Facebook group tomorrow for Wing It Wednesday. What am I going to work on for Wing It Wednesday? Wing It Wednesday, we are winging it, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm winging it yet. I've got a couple of swap. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. In my group, I posted I did a sketch. Oh, wait. This isn't straight. I did a sketch. So I'm gonna I created a sketch and I posted it in my group. So I just might use that and make a card in Facebook Live tomorrow. So find that post and I'll post that information here in the description box. And then that way you guys can join me on Facebook tomorrow, where we create using a sketch or a layout that I created. Here we go. Hmm. You guys, here's our card tonight using the floating element technique. I like it. What do you think? Give me a thumbs up if you like the video or if you like the card. Oh, I gotta put some gems on here. I need gems. Gems just make the world go round. I will do the drawing in my Facebook group. Actually, let's just do it tonight. Oh, I don't see any names as to who's watching. If you are watching, just please mention your name and I can do the wheel tonight and get you identified. I'm looking for something. Where are my gems? Tell ya, I got all discombobulated today. I swear to goodness. Well, I have some gems hanging around. They're not Stampin' Up gems, but I do have some gems hanging around. So let's just go ahead and use these. I like the iridescent-y ones. And I like them because they generally will pick up the color of whatever you put them on. Okay. Guys, thanks for your patience with me today and putting up with me through all of my automation challenges. This technique is pretty simple. I'm going to create another one because I think it is simple enough. The only thing that might be a challenge is making sure that I have enough window sheets. But this is a very simple technique. If you do choose to try it, I'll put the link to the Facebook group in the description box. Just go ahead and pop a picture of it so I can see what you have created using this technique. With that note, you guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. If there's any of the products that you see that I used tonight that you would like to purchase, I would appreciate it if you would give my store the option, give my store and myself the option to provide outstanding customer service. So if you do shop in my online store tonight, or on my online store during the month, use the host code, and for every purchase that you make that is $50 or more, you will receive a free prize, pre-gift with your purchase, as a thank you for supporting me and my small business. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Happy stamping.